The King at My Door. A werewolf romance story. Opening. Hello, my beautiful dreamers. This is Luna, and welcome back to Luna's Romance audiobooks, where running from fate only brings you closer to destiny. Tonight, I have a story that will make your hearts pound. A tale of a woman desperate for freedom, a king searching for his mate, and a cabin in the woods that becomes the setting for an impossible love story. Imagine hiding from the world, seeking peace in an abandoned cabin deep in the forest. Imagine thinking you're finally safe, finally free from the pack politics and forced claims that have haunted you. Now, imagine opening your door to find the most powerful alpha in the realm standing there, the one wolf you can't hide from, the one man who can see through every wall you've built. So get comfortable, my dreamers. This is a story about running and being found, about hiding and being seen, about discovering that sometimes the one you're running from is exactly who you need. This is The King at My Door. Prologue. The Escape. The claiming ceremony was set for dawn. I had until sunrise to become the property of Marcus Ashford, the beta my pack alpha had chosen for me. Had until the moon set to lose every shred of freedom I'd fought so hard to keep. So I ran. I'd been planning it for weeks, stealing supplies, studying maps, finding the one place no pack would think to look for a runaway Omega. The Thornwood Forest. Cursed, they called it. Haunted by the ghosts of wolves who died in the Great War 50 years ago. No pack claimed it. No wolf entered it willingly, which made it perfect. I ran through the night, my wolf form eating up the miles between the Clearwater Pack territories and the Forbidden Forest. Behind me, I could hear the howls as they discovered my empty room, could feel the rage of my alpha through the pack bond, but I didn't stop. I ran until the scent of my pack faded, until the howls grew distant, until I crossed into Thornwood and felt the pack bond snap. I was officially a rogue now, packless and alone. Free. The cabin appeared just as the map promised, deep in the forest, far from any established territory. Abandoned for decades, its windows dark, its door hanging loose on rusted hinges. But the roof looked intact. The walls seemed solid, and most importantly, it was empty. I shifted back to human form, my stolen supplies clutched in my arms, pushed open the door and stepped into what would become my sanctuary. The inside was dusty but dry, old furniture covered in sheets, a fireplace that probably still worked, one bedroom with an actual bed frame. It was perfect. I set down my supplies and allowed myself one moment, just one, to feel the enormity of what I'd done. I'd left my pack, become a rogue, defied my alpha's direct command. If they caught me, the punishment would be severe, possibly deadly, but at least I'd die free. I spent the first week making the cabin livable, cleaning, repairing, setting traps around the perimeter to warn me if anyone approached. The second week I started to relax, started to believe I'd actually escaped. The third week I let my guard down completely. That was my mistake, because on the night of the full moon, exactly 3 weeks after my escape, someone knocked on my door. Not a gentle knock, a commanding one. The kind that said the person on the other side was used to having doors opened immediately. I froze, my heart hammering. It couldn't be my old pack. They'd have attacked, not knocked. Couldn't be rogues. They'd have tried to break in. So who? I know you're in there. The voice was deep, commanding, and impossibly familiar even though I'd never heard it before. Open the door. Every instinct screamed at me to stay silent, to hide. But something else, something deeper, pulled me forward. I opened the door, and found myself face to face with the Alpha King. Darius Blackwood stood on my rickety porch, all 6'4" of lethal grace and overwhelming power. His dark hair was swept back from a face that could have been carved from marble, all sharp angles and cruel beauty. His eyes were the color of midnight, and they fixed on me with an intensity that stole my breath. He was dressed simply, dark jeans, black shirt, but power radiated from him like heat. This was a man who commanded armies, who ruled the largest territory in the country, who could snap his fingers and have me executed for being a rogue in unclaimed territory. And he was staring at me like I was the only thing in the world that mattered. "You," he said softly, dangerously. "I've been looking for you." Then I caught his scent, pine and smoke and winter night, overlaid with something wild and intoxicating. And my wolf, who'd been silent since I became a rogue, suddenly surged forward. "Mate? No, this couldn't be happening." I'd run away to avoid being claimed by a beta I didn't want. Only to find my fated mate was the most powerful alpha in existence. And from the gold flashing in his dark eyes, from the way his hands clenched at his sides, from the raw hunger in his expression, he knew it too. "May I come in?" he asked, though it wasn't really a question. "What if I say no?" His smile was sharp as a blade. "Then I'll stand out here all night. But eventually you'll let me in. Because you feel it too, don't you? The pull, the bond, the certainty that I'm yours and you're mine." I wanted to deny it, wanted to slam the door in his face and run. But I'd been running for 3 weeks, and I was tired of being afraid. "One conversation," I said. "Then you leave. We'll see." He stepped past me into the cabin, and the space that had felt spacious suddenly felt tiny with him in it. "By the way," he turned, and his eyes were pure gold now, his wolf fully present. "I'm not letting you run again, little rogue, so you might want to settle in." I'd escaped one claiming only to walk straight into another. But this time, the wolf claiming me was my fated mate. And I had no idea if that made it better or worse. Chapter 1. The King's Offer. "You're Nora Ashwood." It wasn't a question. I stared at him. "How do you know my name?" "I know everything about the wolf who's been driving me insane for the past 3 weeks. Darius prowled around my cabin like he owned it, examining everything with those intense dark eyes. Clearwater Pack, Omega, fled the night before a forced claiming ceremony to Marcus Ashford. You investigated me? I felt you the moment you crossed into Thornwood." He turned those eyes on me, and I fought not to step back. "A new wolf in unclaimed territory. I should have sent my guards to investigate. Should have had you brought before me to explain why you were trespassing. Then why didn't you?" "Because the moment I caught your scent on the wind, my wolf went insane." His voice dropped to a growl. "Told me to find you, claim you, keep you. I've been tracking you for 3 weeks, trying to understand why some random rogue had such a hold on me. And now? Now I know. You're my mate." He said it like a fact, simple and undeniable. My fated mate, the one the moon goddess chose for me. I didn't choose you. The moon goddess did. That's enough. Not for me. I lifted my chin, refusing to be intimidated. I ran away to avoid being claimed. I'm not interested in being someone's possession. I'm not Marcus Ashford. His expression darkened. I don't claim wolves against their will. Then what do you call this? Showing up at my door, telling me I'm yours, saying you won't let me run? Stating facts. He moved closer, and I could smell him now, that intoxicating scent that made my wolf purr. We're mates, Nora. That's not a claim. That's fate. I don't believe in fate. You will. His smile was confident, dangerous. Because every moment you spend near me, the bond will grow stronger. Every breath you take of my scent will make your wolf crave mine. Every second we're apart will hurt more than the last. You're very sure of yourself. I'm the Alpha King. Confidence comes with the territory. He studied me with those midnight eyes. But I'm also very sure of you, of what we are to each other. You don't know anything about me. Then tell me. He gestured to the worn couch. Tell me why you ran. Why you'd rather live in an abandoned cabin than accept a claiming from your pack. I shouldn't engage. Shouldn't give him anything. but there was something in his eyes, something that looked almost like understanding. My mother was claimed, I said slowly, against her will, by a beta who wanted an omega to bear his children and manage his household. She was miserable, lived her entire life trapped in a bond she never wanted. And you were afraid the same would happen to you. Marcus made it very clear what he expected from our bond: obedience, children, complete submission to his will. I wrapped my arms around myself. I would have been a pretty doll in his collection. Not a person, not a partner, just property. He's a fool. Darius's voice was cold. Any man who sees an omega as property doesn't deserve one. Most alphas and betas see us that way. I don't. He moved closer, and I could feel the heat radiating from him. I see a woman brave enough to become a rogue rather than accept a fate she didn't want. A wolf strong enough to survive alone in cursed territory for 3 weeks. A mate fierce enough to challenge the Alpha King to his face. Flattery won't make me trust you. I'm not flattering you, I'm stating facts. His hand reached out, hovering near my face but not quite touching. You're magnificent, Nora. And I have no interest in caging something that wild. Then what do you want from me? Everything. The word was raw, honest. I want your trust, your heart, your wolf. I want to wake up beside you every morning and fall asleep with you every night. I want to make you Luna Queen and give you the freedom you've been fighting for. You can't promise me freedom while making me your queen. Those two things are contradictory. Are they? He tilted his head. What if I told you that as my mate, you'd have more freedom than you ever had in Clearwater? That you could make your own choices, pursue your own interests, live the life you want? I'd say you're lying. Then let me prove it. His eyes held mine. Stay with me. Not here in this cabin, in my territory. As my guest, not my prisoner. Let me court you properly. Show you what being my mate could mean. And if I refuse, then I'll leave. I'll have guards posted around Thornwood to keep you safe, but I won't force you. His jaw clenched. Though it will kill me to walk away from my fated mate. You'd really let me go? I'd really let you choose. He stepped back, giving me space. Because that's what you want, isn't it? Choice. Control over your own life. I can give you that, Nora, but only if you're brave enough to take the risk. I stared at him, trying to read the truth in those midnight eyes. He was offering me everything I'd been running from. A bond, a claiming, a place at an alpha's side. But he was also offering me what I'd always wanted. Choice. 1 week, I heard myself say. I'll give you 1 week to prove you're different from Marcus. Different from every alpha who sees omegas as property. His smile was brilliant, devastating. 1 week, I'll take it. But I stay here, in my cabin. You can visit, but this is my space. Deal. He pulled out a phone. Of course, the Alpha King had cell service even in cursed territory. What's your number? I'll text you so you have mine. I don't have a phone. He stared. You've been living out here for 3 weeks with no phone? I was hiding. A phone could be traced. That's, he shook his head, brave and incredibly dangerous. What if you got hurt? Needed help? I'd handle it myself. Not anymore. He held out the phone. Take it. Even if you decide you don't want me, you should have a way to call for help. I took it reluctantly, my fingers brushing his. The contact sent electricity shooting up my arm. From the way his eyes flashed gold, he felt it too. I'll be back tomorrow, he said, moving toward the door. We'll start your courtship properly. Courtship? I'm traditional that way. His smile was wicked. I want to do this right, Nora. Want to show you that claiming you isn't about ownership. It's about partnership. After he left, I sat on the couch, staring at the expensive phone in my hands. What had I just agreed to? A week with the Alpha King. A week being courted by the most powerful wolf in the country. A week to decide if I could trust my fated mate, or if I'd spend the rest of my life running from a bond I couldn't escape. Chapter 2. The Courtship. He showed up the next morning with breakfast. "You cook?" I asked, staring at the basket of fresh pastries and fruit. "No, but my chef does." Darius set the basket on my rickety table. "And before you argue about accepting gifts, you need to eat. Your supplies are running low." He wasn't wrong. I'd been rationing carefully, but 3 weeks of hiding had depleted my stores. "Thank you," I said grudgingly. "You're welcome." He pulled out a chair, somehow making the simple gesture look regal. "Now, tell me what you'd like to do today." "Do?" "For our courtship, what would make you happy?" I stared at him. "You're serious about this?" "Completely. I have 1 week to prove I'm worthy of you. I'm not wasting a moment." His eyes held mine. "So tell me, Nora, what do you want?" No one had ever asked me that before. Not seriously. "I want to run," I said slowly. "As a wolf. Through the forest without fear of being caught or claimed or controlled." "Then we run." He stood. "Lead the way." We shifted in the clearing behind the cabin. Him into a massive black wolf with midnight eyes, me into my smaller auburn form. He was beautiful, powerful and graceful, every inch an alpha. And when he looked at me, his eyes said mine. We ran. Through thornwood, over streams and fallen logs, racing through shafts of sunlight filtering through the canopy. He let me set the pace, following rather than leading, his presence a constant warmth at my side. For the first time since I'd fled Clearwater, I felt free. When we finally collapsed in a meadow, both panting and exhilarated, I shifted back to human form. "That was amazing," I breathed. "You're amazing." He shifted too, his dark eyes warm. "The way you move, it's like watching water flow. Pure grace." "I'm an Omega. We're not known for our speed or strength." "You're not just an Omega. You're my Omega. My mate." His hand found mine. "And you're perfect exactly as you are." The sincerity in his voice made my chest tight. Over the next few days, he courted me with an intensity that took my breath away. He brought me books from his personal library, rare first editions he thought I'd enjoy. He took me to a hidden hot spring deep in Thornwood, where we soaked and talked for hours about everything and nothing. He taught me to use the phone he'd given me, then proceeded to text me terrible jokes that made me laugh despite myself. "Why did the wolf cross the road?" he texted one night. "Why?" I replied. "To get to his mate on the other side." "That's terrible." "But it made you smile. I can feel it through the bond." He was right. The bond was growing stronger every day. I could feel him now, even when he wasn't near. A warm presence at the edge of my consciousness. It should have terrified me. Instead, it felt like coming home. On the 5th night, he showed up after dark with a picnic basket and a blanket. "What's this?" I asked. "Stargazing. I noticed you spend a lot of time on your porch at night, looking up. Thought you might enjoy doing it somewhere more comfortable." He'd noticed. Of course he had. We spread the blanket in the meadow where we'd collapsed after our first run. He unpacked wine and cheese and chocolate, feeding me like I was precious. "Tell me about being Alpha King," I said, lying back to look at the stars. "What's it really like?" "Lonely." His honesty surprised me. "I have advisors, guards, pack members by the thousands, but very few people I can truly trust. Very few who see past the crown to the wolf underneath." "Is that why you never took a chosen mate? Because you couldn't trust them?" "Partly, but mostly because I was waiting for you." He turned to face me. "I didn't know it was you specifically, but I knew my fated mate was out there somewhere, and I refused to settle for anything less. What if I'd never run? If you'd never found me? Then I would have spent my life searching, because you're worth waiting for, Nora. Worth everything." He kissed me then, soft and sweet and full of promise. When we parted, both breathless. His eyes were gold. 2 more days, he murmured. Then you have to decide. Decide what? You said I had a week to see if you were different, and you'll have your answer by then. But I need to know, Nora. If I prove myself, if I show you I can give you the freedom you crave, will you come with me? Will you be my mate? My Luna Queen? My partner in everything? You're asking me to leave the only freedom I've ever known. I'm asking you to trade isolation for partnership, hiding for standing at my side, running for ruling. His hand cupped my face. I'm asking you to be brave one more time. And if I say no? Pain flashed across his face, but he answered honestly. Then I'll honor my word. I'll leave you here with guards to protect you, and I'll spend the rest of my life knowing my mate chose freedom over me. That's not fair to you. Love isn't about fairness. It's about choice. And I choose you, Nora. Every time. No matter what. His thumb brushed my cheekbone. The question is, what do you choose? I didn't answer. Couldn't. Because I was starting to realize that the choice wasn't as simple as I'd thought. It wasn't freedom versus captivity. It was loneliness versus love. And I had no idea which one scared me more. Chapter 3. The Threat. On the 6th day, everything changed. I woke to the sound of howling, aggressive, territorial, definitely not Darius. I grabbed my phone, texting him immediately. Wolves at my door, not friendly. His response was instant. On my way. Don't engage. Stay inside. But when I looked out the window, I recognized the wolf at the front of the pack. Marcus Ashford. My almost mate from Clearwater. And he'd brought friends. Nora! His voice carried even through the cabin walls. I know you're in there. Come out and we can discuss this reasonably. Nothing about 10 hostile wolves surrounding my cabin felt reasonable. I stayed silent, hoping they'd give up. They didn't. The Alpha sent me to bring you home, Marcus continued. You've been gone long enough. Time to accept your fate and complete the claiming ceremony. I'm not going back, I shouted through the door. You don't have a choice. You're Clearwater Pack. You belong to us. I'm a rogue now. The bond is broken. Bonds can be reformed. Now stop being difficult and come out before we have to drag you out. Touch my mate and die, Darius's voice cut through the clearing like a blade. I ran to the window to see him striding into the clearing, power radiating from him in waves. He was in human form, but clearly barely holding on to his control. His eyes were pure gold. His hands were clawed. And the fury rolling off him was terrifying. Your mate? Marcus laughed. She's Clearwater Omega, promised to me by her Alpha. She's my fated mate, chosen by the moon goddess herself. Darius stopped 10 feet from Marcus, his presence making the Clearwater wolves step back nervously. Which means she's under my protection, and anyone who tries to take her will answer to me. You can't just claim, I'm the Alpha King. The command in his voice made every wolf present, including me, want to submit. I can claim anyone I want, and Nora Ashwood is mine. Clearwater Pack will accept it or face the consequences of defying their king. Darius's smile was sharp. Do you really want to start a war over 1 Omega, Beta? Marcus hesitated, clearly calculating his odds. She ran from her duties, he said finally. Abandoned her pack. That's punishable by death in our laws. Your laws don't apply to wolves under royal protection. Darius pulled out a phone, pressing a single button. Marcus Ashford of Clearwater Pack is attempting to kidnap my mate from protected territory. Send reinforcements. Within minutes, the clearing was full of royal guards, massive, well-trained wolves who moved with military precision. Marcus and his pack were outnumbered 5 to 1. Leave, Darius ordered. Tell your Alpha that Nora Ashwood is no longer his concern. She's mine, and if Clearwater has a problem with that, they can take it up with me directly. Marcus looked at me through the window, his expression ugly. You'll regret this, choosing him over your pack, your people. My people tried to sell me like property, I shot back. I have no regrets. After Marcus and his pack retreated, Darius came to the door. I opened it to find him trembling with residual rage. "Are you okay?" he asked immediately, his hands running over me, checking for injuries. "I'm fine. You got here in time. I should have left guards, should have anticipated they'd come for you. Darius." I caught his face, forcing him to look at me. "I'm okay." "You were alone, outnumbered. If I hadn't arrived when I did, but you did arrive. You protected me." I realized the truth even as I said it. "You kept your word." "Always." His arms wrapped around me, holding me close. "Always, Nora. I'll always protect you." We stood there in the doorway, holding each other, and I felt something shift inside me. This wasn't about ownership. Wasn't about control. This was about partnership. Protection. Love. "I choose you," I whispered against his chest. He went still. "What?" "I choose you. Choose us. Choose this bond." I pulled back to look at him. "You've proven yourself, Darius. In 6 days, you've shown me that being claimed by you isn't captivity. It's freedom. Because you see me. Really see me. And you want me to be exactly who I am." "Nora." "I'm scared," I admitted. "Terrified of leaving this cabin, this safety. Terrified of being Luna Queen and all that entails. But I'm more terrified of spending my life alone when my fated mate is right here, asking me to be brave." His smile was brilliant. "You're the bravest person I know." "Then help me be brave. Show me that loving you won't mean losing myself." "I swear it." He pulled me close, his scent wrapping around me. "I swear on my life, on my crown, on everything I am. You'll never lose yourself with me. You'll only become more of who you're meant to be." He kissed me then, claiming and tender all at once. And when we parted, I knew I'd made the right choice. "When do we leave?" I asked. "We don't have to leave immediately. If you need time, no. If I'm doing this, I'm doing it now, before I lose my nerve." His laugh was warm. "My fearless mate. Come on then. Let's go home." As we walked away from the cabin that had been my sanctuary, my hiding place, my haven, I looked back once. I'd come here running from fate. I was leaving, walking toward it. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't afraid. Chapter 4. The palace, Darius's territory, was nothing like I'd imagined. I'd pictured something cold and imposing, all stone walls and formal guards. Instead, I found warmth. The palace was beautiful, yes, all soaring architecture and elegant design. But it was also alive. Pack members everywhere, children playing in the gardens, wolves greeting each other with genuine affection. "This is home," Darius said softly as we pulled up to the main entrance. "Our home now." Our home. The words made my chest tight. The reception was overwhelming. Dozens of pack members waiting to meet me, all curious about the mysterious Omega who'd captured their king's heart. "Everyone!" Darius's voice carried across the crowd. "I'd like you to meet Nora, my fated mate, your future Luna Queen." The crowd erupted in cheers. "They're happy?" I whispered. "They're ecstatic. I've been alone for 32 years. They'd almost given up hope I'd find my mate." An elderly woman approached, her eyes kind. "Welcome, dear. I'm Margaret, the head housekeeper. Let me show you to your rooms." "Our rooms," Darius corrected. "Nora stays with me." Margaret's smile was knowing. "Of course, Your Majesty." The royal chambers were stunning, a massive suite with sitting rooms and a bedroom that could fit my entire cabin. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the forest. "It's beautiful," I breathed. "It's ours." He came up behind me, his arms wrapping around my waist. "Change anything you want. Make it feel like home." "Darius, I need to tell you something." "What?" "I've never been a Luna, never led a pack. I don't know what I'm doing." Neither did I when I became king. He turned me to face him. We'll figure it out together. That's what mates do. What if I'm not good at it? What if I disappoint them? Impossible. You're already perfect. His thumb brushed my cheek. But Nora, you don't have to be Luna Queen immediately. Take time, learn, find your place here. You'd let me do that? Not rush me into the role? I'd let you do anything that makes you happy. His eyes were serious. Your happiness is more important to me than pack politics. That night, I met with the council, a group of advisors and pack elders who helped Darius rule. Lady Nora, one of them said formally, we understand you come from Clearwater Pack. I was born there, yes, but I'm rogue now. No longer. An elderly man smiled. The moment you accepted the Alpha King's claim, you became part of the royal pack. You're one of us now. The welcome in their voices was genuine. These wolves didn't see me as an outsider or a threat. They saw me as their Luna. Over the next few weeks, I settled into my new life. Darius was patient, letting me adjust at my own pace. Introduced me to pack members slowly. Never pushed me to take on responsibilities before I was ready. But I wanted to contribute. Wanted to earn my place as Luna. I started small, visiting the pack hospital, reading to the children in the nursery, helping with the community garden. And slowly, I found my purpose. The Omegas in the pack were struggling. Not with mistreatment, Darius's pack didn't tolerate that, but with representation. They had no voice in pack decisions, no way to advocate for their needs. I want to change that, I told Darius one night. Change what? The way Omegas are treated. Not just here, everywhere. I want to create programs, advocate for equality, give Omegas the choice I never had. His smile was proud. Then do it. You're Luna Queen. You have the authority to make it happen. You'd support that, even though it might upset traditional alphas? I'd support anything that makes you happy, and anything that improves life for my pack members. He pulled me close. Change the world, Nora. I'll back you every step of the way. So I did. I created an Omega Council, established educational programs, advocated for policy changes that gave Omegas more autonomy. And Darius kept his word, supporting every initiative, backing every proposal, using his authority as king to push through reforms that other packs had resisted for generations. You're changing everything, Margaret said one day, watching me lead a council meeting. Is that bad? It's wonderful. You're giving wolves hope, showing them that mates can be partners, not possessions, that Omegas can lead, not just follow. That night, I found Darius in our room, staring out the window. What are you thinking about? I asked. How lucky I am. He turned, his smile soft. I was waiting for a mate, hoping for someone I could love. But I got so much more than that. What did you get? A partner, a queen. Someone who challenges me and inspires me, and makes me better than I ever was alone. He pulled me into his arms. You're not just my mate, Nora. You're my everything. You gave me freedom, I said softly. Real freedom. The choice to be who I am, do what I want, make a difference in the world. You gave me purpose. A reason to be king that's about more than power or politics. You showed me what ruling should really mean, serving your people, making their lives better. We stood there holding each other, and I marveled at how far we'd come, from a desperate Omega hiding in a cabin to a Luna Queen changing her world, from a lonely king to a mated alpha with everything to live for. I love you, I whispered. I love you too. Always. But our happiness was about to be tested, because the next morning, Clearwater Pack sent a formal challenge, and everything we'd built was suddenly at risk. Chapter 5. The Challenge. The letter arrived by messenger at dawn. I watched Darius read it, saw his expression darken with every line. What is it? I asked. Clearwater Pack is formally challenging our bond." His voice was tight, "Claiming you were promised to Marcus before we met, that I stole you unlawfully. That's not true." "I know, but they're invoking the old laws, demanding a trial to determine whether our bond is legitimate. Can they do that?" "Unfortunately, yes. The old laws allow packs to challenge bondings if they can prove prior claim." He set down the letter. "It's archaic, hasn't been used in decades, but it's still technically legal." "What happens if they win?" His jaw clenched. "The bond would be declared invalid. You'd be returned to Clearwater." "No." Fear clutched at my chest. "I'm not going back there." "You won't have to. I won't let them take you." His arms wrapped around me. "But we have to take this seriously, Nora. We need to prepare." The trial was set for the full moon, 2 weeks away. We spent every spare moment with our lawyers, building our case, proving that I'd been a rogue when we met, that no valid claim existed, that our bond was genuine. But Clearwater had resources too, and they were determined. "Why are they doing this?" I asked Margaret one night. "Why fight so hard for one Omega?" "It's not about you, dear. It's about power." She sat beside me, maternal and wise. "Clearwater Alpha is using you to challenge the king. If he can prove Darius acted unlawfully, it weakens royal authority, opens the door for other packs to challenge his decisions. So I'm a pawn in their political game. You're a queen who threatens their traditional power structure, and they want to put you back in your place." The night before the trial, I couldn't sleep. I stood on our balcony, looking out over the territory I'd come to love, and felt terror grip me. What if we lost? What if I was taken back to Clearwater, forced to complete the bond with Marcus? What if I lost everything? "Hey." Darius joined me, wrapping a blanket around my shoulders. "Talk to me." "I'm scared." "So am I." "Really?" "Terrified. Not of losing the trial. Of losing you." His arms tightened. "You're my mate, Nora. My heart. The best part of my life. The thought of you being taken from me. Then we fight. Tomorrow we fight for us. Tomorrow we fight for everything." The trial was held in the Grand Council chamber, a massive hall filled with representatives from every major pack in the region. Clearwater Alpha, a grizzled man named Garrett, presented his case first. "Nora Ashwood was promised to Marcus Ashford through a formal pack arrangement," he argued. "She fled that arrangement, becoming a rogue. But King Darius knew of this prior claim and bonded with her anyway, violating the rights of Clearwater Pack." Our lawyer countered. "Nora became a rogue of her own free will. The moment she left Clearwater, any pack arrangements became void. She was free to bond with whomever she chose, including her fated mate." "Fated mates," Garrett scoffed. "A convenient excuse for the king to steal another pack's Omega." "Convenient?" Darius stood, his presence filling the room. "I've waited 32 years for my mate. Refused countless political matches because I knew she was out there somewhere. And when I finally found her, when the moon goddess herself declared we were meant to be, you think I'd let pack politics stand in the way? Your Majesty, with respect, I'm not finished." His voice carried alpha command that made everyone present submit. Nora didn't just run from a claiming. She ran from a life where she had no choice, no autonomy, no voice. She ran from being treated as property. He looked directly at Garrett. "And you want me to send her back to that? To force her into a bond with a man she doesn't want? To violate the sanctity of a fated mate bond because your beta's pride is hurt? The law is clear. The law is also clear about fated mates. They supersede all other bonds, all other claims, all other laws." Darius's eyes were gold. "Nora is mine. I am hers. And no law in this kingdom will change that." The council deliberated for hours. I sat beside Darius, our hands clasped, feeling his steady strength through our bond. Finally, the head counselor stood. "We have reached a decision." The room went silent. The council finds that Nora Ashwood's departure from Clearwater Pack was of her own free will. Any prior arrangements made by the pack were rendered void when she chose to become a rogue. Relief flooded through me. Furthermore, the council recognizes the sacred nature of fated mate bonds. Such bonds, when genuine, supersede all pack politics and prior claims. Garrett stood. How do we know the bond is genuine? How do we know it's not just a convenient political match? If you doubt our bond, Darius said coldly, we can prove it right now. How? The marking ceremony. If we're truly fated mates, the moon goddess will bless our bonding with visible light. Everyone in this room will see the proof. It was risky. If the blessing didn't come, if anything went wrong, we'd lose everything. But I trusted Darius. Trusted our bond. I agree, I said clearly. We'll complete the marking ceremony here. Now, let everyone witness the truth. Darius's eyes held mine, asking silent permission. I nodded. He tilted his head, exposing his throat. Mark me, Nora. Claim me before all these witnesses. My canines extended. I bit down on the juncture of his neck and shoulder, my mark sinking deep. Power rushed through me, the bond snapping fully into place, golden and perfect. When I pulled back, his mark gleamed silver on my skin. Then it was his turn. He marked me with exquisite gentleness, and I felt the bond complete. The moment his teeth left my skin, light exploded around us. Pure silver moonlight descending from above, wrapping around both of us in a brilliant display that left everyone gasping. The moon goddess's blessing, visible proof that we were fated mates. When the light faded, the room was silent. Then the head counselor spoke, his voice awed. The council finds in favor of King Darius and Queen Nora. The bond is legitimate, blessed by the moon goddess herself. Clearwater's challenge is denied. Garrett stood, his face purple with rage. This isn't over. It is. Darius's voice was absolute authority. Accept the ruling and leave, or face charges for attempting to interfere with a fated mate bond, which carries severe penalties under royal law. Garrett left, taking his delegation with him, and I collapsed into Darius's arms, shaking with relief. It's over, he whispered. You're safe. We're safe. I can't believe we won. We didn't win. The moon goddess did. She proved what we've known all along, that you're mine and I'm yours, and nothing can change that. That night we celebrated with the pack, music and dancing and joy that filled every corner of the palace. But the best moment was when we finally retreated to our room, alone, and just held each other. Thank you, I whispered. For what? For fighting for us, for not letting them take me, for choosing me over everything else. I'll always choose you. His lips found mine. Always, Nora. In every lifetime, every choice, every moment. It's you. And as we made love for the first time as fully bonded mates, I felt the truth of his words. This was home. This was love. This was everything I'd been running from, and everything I'd been running toward all along. Chapter 6. The Coronation. 3 months later, they crowned me Luna Queen. The ceremony was magnificent. Wolves from across the kingdom gathering to witness my coronation, to accept me as their Luna. I wore silver, Darius's color, with the royal crest embroidered in gold. My hair was woven with moonflowers, and on my neck, clearly visible, was Darius's mark. Nervous? He asked as we waited to enter the throne room. Terrified. What if I mess up the oath? What if I trip? What if... He kissed me, cutting off my spiral. You'll be perfect, just like you are every day. The coronation ceremony was ancient, traditional. I knelt before the high priestess, reciting the oath that bound me to the kingdom. I, Nora Ashwood, accept the mantle of Luna Queen. I pledge to serve this kingdom, protect its wolves, and rule with wisdom and compassion. I pledge my strength to my mate, my loyalty to my pack, and my life to this crown. The crown was heavy, silver and moonstone, beautiful and weighty. But when Darius took my hand, helping me stand, the weight felt right. We turned to face the assembled court together. "You're Luna Queen," the priestess announced. The crowd roared its approval. That night, we hosted a feast. Wolves from every territory celebrating our union, the bond that had brought us together. "You've come a long way from hiding in a cabin," Margaret said with a smile. "Sometimes I still can't believe this is real." I watched Darius across the room, surrounded by pack members, but always keeping one eye on me. That I went from running from a forced claiming to ruling a kingdom. You didn't just run from something. You ran toward something, toward your fate. She squeezed my hand. The moon goddess has a plan for all of us. Sometimes we just have to be brave enough to follow it. Later, Darius and I stood on our balcony, watching the celebrations continue below. "Do you ever regret it?" he asked softly. "Giving up your freedom in the cabin? Taking on all this responsibility?" "Never, because you kept your promise." I turned to face him. "You gave me freedom, real freedom. The choice to be who I am, pursue what matters to me, make a difference in the world. Being your mate didn't trap me. It set me free. You set me free too." His hand found mine. "Before you, I was just going through the motions, playing the role of king without understanding what it really meant. You showed me that ruling isn't about power. It's about service, about making life better for the wolves who depend on you. We make a good team. The best team." He pulled me close. "And we're just getting started. Think of everything we can accomplish together. The changes we can make, the lives we can improve. Together," I agreed. "Always together." As the moon rose over our kingdom, our home, I thought about the journey that had led me here. From a terrified Omega hiding in an abandoned cabin, to a Luna Queen ruling beside her fated mate. From running from fate to embracing it. From loneliness to love. I'd been hiding when Darius showed up at my door, hiding from pack politics and forced claims and a life without choice. But he hadn't come to trap me. He'd come to free me. And together we'd built something beautiful. A partnership. A kingdom. A love that would last forever. "I love you," I whispered. "I love you too," he replied. "My queen, my mate, my everything." And as we stood there, wrapped in each other's arms, I knew I'd made the right choice. All those weeks ago, when I'd opened the door to find the Alpha King on my porch, I'd been terrified. Now I couldn't imagine my life without him. Epilogue, 2 years later. Mama, watch this." I looked up from my council notes to see our daughter, Elena, practicing her shift in the palace gardens. At 18 months, she was already showing incredible control, a testament to her combined bloodlines. "Very good, little moon," I called. She shifted back, her dark hair, Darius's color, wild around her face. "Did Papa see?" "He's in a meeting, but I'll tell him how well you did." "I want to show him now." She started toward the palace. "Elena Blackwood, you will not interrupt the Alpha King's council meeting." But she was already running, her little legs carrying her faster than I could catch her. I sighed, following after my stubborn daughter. She burst into the council room without knocking, and I arrived just in time to see Darius's face light up. "Elena, what are you doing here?" "I shifted, all by myself. Mama said I was good, but I want you to see." He scooped her up, completely ignoring the waiting council members. "Show me right now." She shifted in his arms. A tiny wolf pup with midnight eyes. The council members melted. Even the stern ones couldn't resist a proud father and his talented daughter. "That's my girl," Darius said, his voice full of love. "The strongest pup in the kingdom." I leaned against the doorframe, watching him with our daughter, and felt my heart overflow. This was everything I'd never dared to dream of. A mate who loved me. A daughter we both adored. A kingdom we ruled together with compassion and strength. After the meeting, we walked through the gardens as a family. Darius carrying Elena, who chattered non-stop about her accomplishments. "She's going to be a handful when she's older," I said. "She takes after her mother. Stubborn, brave, absolutely impossible to control." His smile was warm. "I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm not impossible to control. You ran away to live in a cursed forest, rather than accept a claiming you didn't want. You challenged the Alpha King on your doorstep. You reformed Omega laws across the entire kingdom, despite opposition from traditional packs." He kissed my forehead. "You're magnificently impossible to control, and I love you for it." That night, after Elena was asleep, we stood in our usual spot on the balcony. "Do you ever think about it?" Darius asked. "The cabin? How we met?" "All the time. I think about how terrified I was when I heard you knock, how sure I was that you'd take away my freedom. And instead, you gave me everything." I turned to face him. "A home, a family, a purpose, the freedom to be exactly who I am. You gave me everything too. Before you, I was just the Alpha King, powerful but empty. You filled that emptiness with love and laughter and meaning." His arms wrapped around me. "You made me whole, Nora." From the nursery, we heard Elena's sleepy voice calling for her papa. Darius smiled. "Duty calls. Go, I'll join you in a minute." As I watched him head to our daughter's room, I marveled at the life we'd built. I'd hidden in an abandoned cabin to avoid being claimed. Instead, I'd opened my door to the Alpha King and found my destiny, and I wouldn't change a single moment of it. Closing, and there you have it, my beautiful dreamers. The story of Nora and Darius, proof that sometimes the one you're running from is exactly the one you need. Did this story make your heart race? Did you believe in the power of choosing love over fear? Then show me some love. Hit that like button, drop a comment telling me your favorite moment, and subscribe to Luna's Romance audiobooks so you never miss another tale of fated mates and impossible love. I want to know, would you have opened the door? Would you have given the Alpha King a chance? Would you have been brave enough to choose your mate over your freedom? Tell me in the comments. And speaking of brave choices, our next story is going to leave you breathless. It's called Chained to the Rogue Alpha, and it follows a she-wolf captured by a rogue alpha as payment for her father's debts. She's convinced he's a monster, but when she discovers he's been protecting her pack from an even greater threat, she'll have to decide if the chains binding them are really chains at all, or the bond she's been running from her entire life. Until next time, my dreamers, may your hiding places become havens, your unexpected visitors become fated mates, and your brave choices lead you home. This is Luna, signing off. Sweet dreams, beautiful souls.